pathetic planet from the face of the galaxy. Wipe this pathetic planet from the face of the galaxy.
The Force fights with me.
Get on those gun turrets.
Bring her to me.
All Republic forces pull back.
It is too late to retreat, Admiral. There is no escape for us.
You are strong, child, but I will break you.
I'll never fall to the dark side.
This is but a taste of the dark side.
Hello everybody and welcome to Crazy Horse Gaming. I'm Mike and this is our Star Wars week. Well, yes, I know it's been going on a bit longer than a week, more like a week and a half, and that's mainly because I'm terrible at getting videos up, so we had to extend a little bit for this last video. So your Star Wars week turned into a week and a half, no harm done there. The video game we are covering today is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic was released in 2003 on the Xbox and Microsoft Windows. It hit Mac OS in 2004, was on Steam in 2009, and hit the App Store in 2011. This is developed by BioWare and published by LucasArts, as most of the games back then were. Afraid not so much today since Disney bought LucasArts, but there we are. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is a RPG. An RPG which, if you're a fan of the Mass Effect series, you will notice some traits which are very similar. This is kind of what was the early stages, or what you contribute as early stages to the development of Mass Effect. The game itself goes for a very cinematic look, cutscenes very movie feel. It's a huge RPG, loads of some real big RPG elements. But before we get into that, we'll get into the main story part, as that's what BioWare do best, is their storytelling. So, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is based roughly around about 4,000 years before the rise of the Galactic Empire. The whole point of this story is the Sith Lord Darth Malak has captured Bastila, who has some interesting skills as a Jedi, and pretty much this is kind of set in a similar setting as the original Star Wars films, as in the Jedis are pretty much scattered all over the place, although I suppose in the original films they were pretty much extinct, but in this one they're scattered all over the place after a huge war with the Sith. The Sith are pretty much trying to rule the Empire once again, as, you know, that's what they do, and you come in to rescue Bastila, and along the way, no doubt, as with most RPGs, you pick up friends along the way, unreveal great stories and plot twists, and have a brilliant adventure. Like I mentioned before, this goes for a huge cinematic look. Some of the cutscenes and stuff in this really look amazing for the time, and they still hold up fairly well now, to be honest. The gameplay doesn't really look so great these days. I mean, don't get me wrong, it doesn't look bad. It's still a very playable game, very enjoyable. I mean, even to this day, it's one of my favourite games to play. I've gone back and played this so many times, it's unbelievable. Really decent RPG system in there. You've got your leveling up system, you've got your light side and dark side system, which is pretty much exactly the same as the Paragon and Renegade options in Mass Effect. So you will get choices to make and conversation options to make, which will change the outcomes depending on obviously how you react. If you want to be a real decent Jedi light side following type person, or if you just want to be a real nasty piece of work, you know, Darth Vader type, evil Empire lightning through your hands, evil, destroy and kill everyone. It will affect the story. You will get light side and dark side points, and the people around you will react differently as well. As with, I keep comparing this to the Mass Effect because this pretty much was the precursor to the Mass Effects. You wouldn't have a Mass Effect without this game. You meet people along the way who will be your allies, who will join your team and help you along the way. You get to control all of them in battle. Obviously level them all up, give them all skills, unique weapons, train them in different types of armor. The leveling up system's really good, really in depth. You can equip armor, shields, different abilities, give them cybernetic implants to increase abilities. Some really awesome stuff in there. The action it's sent is, well, it's not the most in-depth for an RPG, but it's not terrible. It's pretty much you bash a button for the attack. You've got your special attacks. You can choose to use grenades. You can change the mode of the battle. You can have it as in it pauses whenever you want to make a choice, or you can do it all in full real time, which is quite nice. Adds a bit of an in-depth challenge to it. Obviously, your team members, depending on what you've trained them on, will help you along the way. They've got their own specialties and skills. If you don't train them up properly, they will constantly die or be knocked out. You'll have to revive them, which can be a real pain in the arse at times. But where, I mean, obviously it looks a bit aged, but where this really excels is in the storytelling. The storytelling in this, some of the situations, each character has their own personal backstory, which you can unravel as you move along. It really is impressive, and the more you speak to them, the more missions you go on to speak to them, the better they get to know you. And depending on which way you kind of align your centers in the dark side and light side points, the more they actually tell you. So, say if you're a paragon of what it means to be a Jedi, people will react to you a lot more easily. Rather like the persuade and the intimidate options you get in Mass Effect, you find them in here as well. So really, not a great deal of change between this and the Mass Effects. I know I keep comparing them, but it is pretty much the earliest version of the Mass Effect series, I guess. They did 2 of these. They did obviously Knights of the Old Republic and Knights of the Old Republic 2. I'm trying to remember the name of Knights of the Old Republic 2. Never mind, it's gone. Completely gone. But they were both pretty much the same. The leveling systems were identical. Obviously, the graphics were a bit better in the second one. It's just an all-out, really good classic game. One of the best Star Wars games I've ever played. Like I said, you got the upgrading, which is amazing. You won't be seeing a great deal of footage of the different levels here, but you've got, once you finish the first level, you've got all different worlds to visit. You get your own spaceship, all sorts. You travel to different planets. There's also a few little in-between things where traveling from planet to planet in your spaceship, which looks similar to the Millennium Falcon, but not exactly the same. You get into combat scenes, which they kind of recreate the scene from the very first Star Wars movie where Luke Skywalker gets onto the gunports in the Millennium Falcon, and you're taking out these fighters, which aren't quite TIE fighters, but you can see that they're getting there. It's really good storytelling. The game itself is huge. I mean, I've been playing this now, must be for about, I'd say 8 hours, and I'm still on the first planet. Once you get off there, there's several other planets to visit where you'll get more people to come and follow you along. And it will take, I'm reckoning, a good 30 to 40 hours to finish this game. Maybe a bit longer if you want to go and do all the side quests and unlock people's personal missions. One of the good things about this is the more you learn about the characters, a lot of them, their character will actually develop as they move along. So the more you learn about them, the more you talk to them, the better their skills will get in sometimes, which is really good. Really impressive little thing. It gives you kind of that motivation to constantly see all your different team members, see if you can get anything extra out of them. Yeah, so I think I've rambled on enough now about Knights of the Old Republic and waffled on about how much I love this game and what a brilliant game it is. And if you haven't played this game before, I'd suggest you go out and try it. If you are into your RPGs, if you are into the storytelling of Star Wars, then this is definitely one to go check out. If you are a fan of the Mass Effects and haven't played these before, go back and check these. They might not be the best looking games, as obviously they have aged, but it is really interesting to see where the Mass Effect franchise came from, how it's developed from this to what Mass Effect is. And again, same with the Old Republic, the MMO, which BioWare have done. That's very similar. I haven't actually played the MMO, so I can't comment on the storytelling on that or the combat on that, but again, that spanned from this, and if this wasn't so popular, then you wouldn't have got that. So yeah, this is definitely one I'd recommend anyone go out and check if you are a fan of the franchise, a fan of RPGs, or just a sci-fi fan in general. And thanks for watching. I think I've mumbled on aimlessly enough about this game, so I will leave you all to watch a bit of gameplay. And this concludes our Star Wars week at Crazy Horse Gaming. Once again, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to check out the other features and videos we have on the site. And for a great gaming forum, why not visit www.gamerkitten.com. I will leave links in the description of this video to our site and the Gamer Kitten site. Please go check them out, and I'll catch you all later. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.
Wipe this pathetic planet from the face of the galaxy.